Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's Spur video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's Spur video. Day 10 will take us to the 28th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with this GFS and ECM ensembles. May run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFSV2 at the end of the video for December, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, the video we say it was our 6 AM upload, and we've also released January Friday as well, so that's a little bit of a December look ahead too, so you heard the first half of December, so check out those two videos if you'd like to do that. We will be live streaming around 10:30 tonight. We'll be live streaming the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run, so I shall see you live for that one around 10:30. Please like, share, subscribe. I think so both doing that. Need around 25 subscribers now. That's all. Just 25 to get ourselves to 14.8k subs, moving very quickly. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe as well, that would be great. It'd be fantastic. Thank you so much. Right, let's start our centering temperature. The CT continuing its gradual decline, now sitting at 10.5, which is 4.1 degrees above average. This is only coming down very slowly, though. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 17th of November. It will carry on falling through the weekend and into the early part of next week. So I think by sort of early-ish next week, that should be down under 10 Celsius. But it's going to be a very significantly milder than average month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks on the Leeds today. So red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Leeds. We're about average at the moment. We're actually going to go cooler than average, but only slightly so. The upper air temperatures over the weekend into the early part of next week. Then as we go into the end of November, we see that the upper air temperatures begin to lift back up. It starts to go milder month's end and into the beginning of December. By the 4th of December, that's as far as we go, possibly signs of a bit of a drop in the upper air temperatures then. But basically the idea is it's going to be quite cool for the weekend and into next week, and then towards month's end we'll get milder. It also looks unsettled, regular rainfall spikes from beginning to end. No deviation, no change there. It looks really unsettled for certainly the rest of November, and there's not much sign of a drying trend even out into the beginning of December, albeit that of course is extended range. Temperature anomalies on the 18th, 26th of November going to be around to a little bit above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 18th to 26th of November, generally wetter than normal in most places. Latest weather that from earth.nullschool.net shows that we're very close to a cold easterly at the moment. Much of northern and sort of northeastern Europe around here has been plunged into winter, and we are very, very close to pulling that in, but the Atlantic is just too active to allow it to happen, and all of these areas of low pressure are going to keep wind in from the west for us, albeit it could be a cooler variety though, as the jet stream will be going southwards as it comes up against a blocking area of high pressure Scandinavian high that is sitting over Scandi. Right, let's go through chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking midnight on Monday, so we're between low pressure there, actually under a slight transient ridge, but the next low is waiting in the wings, and so by the time we go through the midnight on Tuesday, clearly that low pressure is sweeping across the country, though Monday looks like a wet and windy day, and stays unsettled then through next week with low pressure continuing to move in from off the Atlantic, bringing further bouts of wind and rain with it. That's as far as we get to with the UK Met Euro 2 next Friday, 25th of November, and still, even then, the low pressures keep coming. Icon looks like that. Again, slight transient bump, high pressure on Sunday night, but by Monday night, the next area of low pressure sweeping through the country, bringing plenty of wind and rain with it. And then on through the middle and last stages of next week, further low pressure driving in from off the Atlantic, keeping things very unsettled. The GFS midnight run once more showing plenty of low pressure domination through the early part of next week. That's midnight Tuesday under a dartboard low then, with more low pressure coming in off the Atlantic through the middle. Last stages of next week, further wet and windy weather sweeping across the country. Moving up to day 10, stays unsettled, but highs begin to rise a little bit to the north, and that does threaten to bring some drier weather potentially to the end of November. So this is 29th of November, just beyond day 10. We've still got low pressure around the country, so it's still unsettled with showers and longer spells of rain. But we are beginning to try and raise the heights to the north and northeast. However, it doesn't really come to much, and low pressure just keeps coming, overpowers any sort of ridging that attempts to take place to our north and northeast. As we come to the end of the GFS midnight run, that's how we look. So again, just a few hints that pressure's trying to rise to our south, to our east, but still really low pressure in the Atlantic is a driving factor. This is how the GFS 6Z run is looking, and once more, it looks very unsettled through the early part of next week, with low pressure bringing plenty of wet and windy weather with it, and that carries on into the second half of next week as well. This looks a vigorous area of low pressure by this time next week, Friday 25th November. Gale force winds perhaps, and heavy rain sweeping across the country. Then moving up to day 10, that low pressure sticks around the country, bringing showers, longer spells of rain. Notice again, trying to range the heights a little bit to our north and west. So beyond day 10, we go into a more anticyclonic scenario. High pressure builds just to our north and northwest, pulls in this rather chilly east to northeast wind, not particularly cold easterly, but certainly will have a chill to it. And eventually we finish up taking that high pressure out west and dropping in a cold northerly by the 4th of December. That's as far as we get to with the GFS runs today, pulling in a cold northerly wind courtesy of this mid-Atlantic ridge and trough of low pressure dropping in Scandinavia. That's the day we're releasing our winter forecast, of course, Sunday 4th of December, so that would be nice and seasonal for that, wouldn't it? If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that, and why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. 25 more subscribers will get us to 14.8k, so please give us a sub. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. GM showing low pressure dominating weather through the early part of next week. Bit of a dartboard sitting over country there Monday into Tuesday, and then more low pressure sweeping through the country throughout next week. And even up to day 10, we just keep the areas of low pressure coming, really, albeit with high pressure over Spain, but not in a position to bring anything drier to us. So we just keep those areas of low pressure rolling in from off the Atlantic. And then finally, for the charts, the ECM at WF. All much of a muchness, really, for the early part of next week. Low pressure just bringing bouts of heavy rain and strong winds, and that carries on into the second half next week as well, with this vigorous area of low pressure sweeping in from off the Atlantic. Change for days 9 and 10. High pressure begins to ridge up from the south, turning us drier for the 27th of November. And then by day 10, which is the 28th of November, actually got high pressure to Scandinavia, or we're about to, and look like we might be threatening to bring in an east wind. At the same time, being drier and cooler, you would expect frost and fog. With that, of course, we'll have to wait and see whether that high manages to stick over Scandinavia for any length of time and bring us an easterly, or whether it will just sit, you know, over top of the country with frost and fog and that. But that's certainly a change from the ECM by day 10, something much drier and also threatening to be a little bit cooler as well. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. More heavy rain sweeping through the country over the weekend, and then further wet weather during the early part of next week. Could be cold enough, a little bit of winteriness mixed in with some of that rain over high ground in the north and west especially. Heading into middle next week, another bout of rain sweeping through the country, and you guessed it, there's another one through the last stages of next week as well. And then we get that change over the final weekend of November, and high pressure begins to build up from the south. See how the rain goes away, and we turn significantly drier and no doubt cooler as well. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. gets us to the 28th of November. 16 members of the ECM ensembles keeping the onslaught going, with low pressure in off the Atlantic, plenty of wet windy weather in with that. 10 with low pressure over just slightly to our west, high pressure is to our east a little bit. That's still very unsettled, relatively mild probably. Then we've got 10 including the operational run, but takes a high pressure out, takes a low pressure I should say, out into the Atlantic and builds a high pressure over and to the east of the country. And so that would turn things drier and possibly a little bit cooler as well. 9 down here, low pressure drives in off the Atlantic, very unsettled. And 6 with low pressure dominating, a little bit of high pressure over France. It looks like the operational run is a bit of an outlier within its ensemble, not particularly well supported by its ensemble. So that idea, let's go back to it, that idea there of high pressure building over to the east of the country by day 10 is not particularly well supported by the ECM ensembles. Most of them actually still look very unsettled at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 3rd of December. 11 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure sitting over slightly to the east of the country. That's going to be mostly dry, but cold with frost and fog. 9 with low pressure still to our north. That's going to be quite unsettled. Another 9 with blocking from Greenland to Scandinavia, low pressure over France. That will bring in a proper easterly. That's probably the coldest scenario. 9 down here with low pressure just to our west, high pressure building to our east and northeast. That's going to be potentially turning a little bit drier, but could still be quite wet in the west. 9 here with low pressure over top of the country. And probably might just be getting into Scotland with that, as we do have some blocking to the north. And then 5 with high pressure reaching through the country and going up towards Scandinavia. That's threatened to start bringing in a little bit of an easterly. Things are still there, but we might get a change to higher pressure by the beginning of December. The ECM operational run is possibly being a bit progressive about doing it by day 10, but by day 14 we might be finding ourselves getting much more towards higher pressure. That'll bring drier conditions. Where the high pressure sits, of course, will be the critical factor in terms of whether or not we can turn things colder. GFS V2 finally for December. This is the latest 700 millibar height anomaly, showing high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. Looks like a classic westerly December there, going for a milder than average month. And not much of a signal for precipitation, but does look drier to our south and maybe a little bit wetter to our northwest. All very Atlantic driven and very sort of westerly. The CFS monthlies are chopping and changing day by day, though, in terms of the placement of that area of high pressure. So that's the case of watch this space. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. It is amazing and incredible. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Another, can you believe this? Another 25 subscribers will get us to 14.8k and just 200 away from our ultimate target of 15,000 subscribers. When we get to 15k, we're going to give away an Amazon voucher. Could we do that before Christmas? Could we? Probably not, but we'll do it just after, in any case, I think. Right, well, that's it for today's videos. Not for content, though. We're going to be live streaming around 10:30 tonight, so I shall see you live for a little bit of a laugh and a chat and to look at the GFS 1810 aka the pub run. Just to tell you what's coming up tomorrow, going to have the 6 a.m. upload. We'll also have the ECM 42 day slash 6 weeks look ahead. We'll have the weekend forecast and 10 to 14 day as well. If I can slot in the 7th Christmas update, it's due on Saturday. If I can slot it in, then I'll do it for you. If not, it'll be on Sunday. And yeah, on Sunday, by the way, we're going to have the 12th and penultimate winter update. We are nearly at the end of our winter updates now. Just 2 more to go. Update 12, update 13, and then the winter forecast. So, update number 12, the 12th winter update, epic, will be released at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. You enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon, evening, and I shall see you at 10:30 maybe. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.